Good morning, 5th and 6th graders. We've come to the end of the week and I wanted to go over a few of the concepts that you've been reading about in your history book. At least hopefully you've been reading about it. I do want to draw your attention to this map. Now this is at the very beginning of your chapter and you'll notice the quiz that is on the board. You're going to be taking that this week. I believe it may be on Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, but it has the map on it. Now, of course, you can look back and that would be fine, but I know some of you are historians in the making and it's very important for you to know your history and to do well. So just review over the map and make sure you know some of the countries. For example, Austria, we're going to study about it in just a moment. It will be on the map. You will need to make sure you know Italy, which I don't think will be a problem. Little Portugal is going to be on the map. Sweden, up on the Scandinavian peninsula, will be there. Greece, which is down here, Germany, and the Netherlands up in this region. So just be sure that you are referring back to your map and be ready for that coming up on the quiz. Now today's lesson is all about Switzerland and Austria, and I could break out in song again, but I will spare you and not do that. Most of you know that I love Broadway, I love musicals, and one of my favorite musicals is The Sound of Music. And if you have never watched it, I strongly encourage you to do that. In that particular musical, you have the Von Trapp family, which is a large family of singers, and they have to face Hitler and the Third Reich in the land of Austria, and they're able to escape in the nighttime over the mountains into Switzerland, which was a neutral nation at that time. And usually in history, it has been a neutral nation. So maybe that'll pique your interest and you'll want to watch The Sound of Music. The country of Switzerland, as you can see from our map, is known for its beautiful mountains. In fact, it is the most mountainous country in all of Europe. Think about the Alps. We've studied them already. And Bern is the capital in Switzerland. Now, Switzerland is known for its cheese, its chocolate, and the watch carving or the watchmaking. I have this very vivid memory of my childhood. My grandmother, Betty Setzer, who was also an educator, went to visit some countries in Europe. And I remember her bringing me home a little Alps house replica from Switzerland. I honestly don't know where it's at now. My parents may have it somewhere tucked away in their home, but I just have this vivid memory of her going and visiting Switzerland and Austria and some of these countries and bringing me back a few little special things. So Switzerland is unique, again, known for its cheese, its chocolates, and its clocks or watches. When you think about Switzerland, you want to study a bit about its history. There is a legend about William Tell, and he seems to be the founder of Swiss liberty. Switzerland gained its independence from the Holy Roman Empire in the late 1400s. Again, it's a neutral nation. They typically do not get involved in wars. You study World War I or World War II, you don't hear of Switzerland being a part of the Allies or the Axis. They were a neutral nation. Therefore, a lot of people feel safe to put their money in banks in Switzerland. This nation speaks 3 official languages: German, French, and Italian. Ulrich Zwingli is also a prominent historian. He was important during the Protestant Reformation, along with John Calvin. If you remember him from a previous lesson, his followers were the Huguenots, and he was very influential. In fact, you may remember Switzerland is a place that he kind of escaped to when he was exiled from the country that he lived in at the time. I believe it was France. Swiss engineers were some of the first to tunnel through the Alps. They made the first automobile tunnel through the mountains. Now, no doubt many of you have been through automobile tunnels, maybe if you've traveled to Tennessee. But can you imagine tunneling through those massive mountains? Also, they were one of the first to have a railway tunnel through the Alps. Some famous people from Switzerland is Johanna Spiri. She is the author of the book Heidi, which is set in the Alps. I know some of you have siblings that are in 3rd and 4th grade and they're reading the Swiss Family Robinson. Well, Reverend Johann Wies was the author of that book, Swiss Family Robinson. Of course, he was from Switzerland. And then you had this gentleman here, this is Jean-Henri Dunant, and he was the founder of the International Red Cross. Now to Austria. Is that not a beautiful image there of the houses nestled up against the mountains, and here the mountains rising up in the background? The capital of Austria is Vienna. They speak a German dialect. It's kind of our book calls it a softly pronounced German. The people in Vienna take great pride because a lot of musicians made their homes there, like Mozart and Haydn and Schubert, and they made their homes there and they produced their music there. Austria has the world's leading resource of lead, or graphite, which is what we use in our pencils. So I encourage you, as you finish up your history reading for this week, just to enjoy what you can learn about Switzerland and Austria. You may have already peeked ahead and have seen that next week we're getting into Germany, the land of the Reformation. And so I'm excited to talk to you about that. Maybe, Lord willing, on Monday we'll have a video about Germany. I hope you guys will have a great weekend to get some rest, enjoy the sunshine, and we'll see you again soon.